guys? My good friends.
Welcome back, everybody.
Another episode of the Cheat Code, yes.
Another week, another dollar, hump day.
Yeah, hump day.
Woo!
You guys excited for the week ahead?
Yeah, always.
I am, yeah.
This is like technically our Thursday, because tomorrow, Thursday, is like really Fridays for the industry.
And it's really...
Not for me.
Really?
Today's your Friday?
No, today's my Wednesday.
Yeah, today's your hump day. Well, I mean, as far as that, when it comes to servicing music, because we
Feels
really
like
can't...
Monday sometimes.
Unless you're future or somebody, you're not getting shit accomplished on Friday or Monday.
Correct.
I get a lot done on Fridays and Mondays.
Well, as far as releasing music and stuff like that?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I'd love to hear it.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I definitely love it. Yeah, it's definitely, because that Friday is the typical release day.
It is.
Yeah.
And, if you're not an independent, or if you're an independent artist that doesn't really have shit going on, Fridays and Mondays makes it very difficult for you to move the needle because of the stuff that you're up against.
Yeah.
So
up against
most mix show
machines.
DJs start their club run. Their weekend is Thursday, so
Correct.
their first official day of the weekend is Thursday.
Yeah.
A lot of mix shows are turned in Tuesday, Wednesday.
Right.
Yeah, so that's why I say Wednesday is kind of like our official Thursday, Friday going into the weekend. For us of us, it's service music.
I think my life's a little more corporate than yours.
A lot more.
Yeah, me and Kingpin outside.
Yeah, I'm not outside.
I'm inside,
so
though. I don't come outside no more.
Conference calls, meetings.
Well, I guess I'm outside then.
Yeah.
Unless they cut a check. I mean, I'm running the streets and all that, but as far as like hanging out and fraternizing, socializing, not with you motherfuckers. Not no more. No, sir. Damn, I'm not supposed to cuss. Not with you mother. That's $1 in the swear jar. We're trying to clean it up, folks, so I apologize. We're trying to keep it, we got to keep it civil. We got it. We can say an F. We got to throw French toast or
what the
freaking or
things
something.
I'm about to talk about, you finna cuss.
Oh,
Okay.
Well, then we got to get the censorship in there. Can we get like somebody on the team that can censor these videos?
They can blooper them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bleep. All right, cool. Let's do it. What we got?
Great artist to work with versus a bad artist to work with. I need
Ooh,
examples.
good
You
one.
don't have to say names if you don't want to.
Yeah.
But what's an example of a great artist to work with, and what's an example of a
Can I
bad
go?
artist to
Yes,
work
please.
Okay. So a great artist is one that has awesome work ethic. Like someone who wakes up before me and goes to sleep after me. And they do like all the work. They really want to win. A bad artist to work with is one that I have to drag across the finish line. And I'm at an age now where I don't want to do that anymore. Like I've really learned to pass on clients that I don't think have the work ethic. I've had clients that I fired and given their money back because I just don't feel like they have that drive. And you can't drag somebody across the finish line. I've done it. It's not healthy, it's not good, it doesn't benefit anybody.
Good artist to work with, somebody that's coachable. I think,
Yeah.
Work ethic is something.
Coachable and talented though, right?
Yes, coachable.
Yeah.
Here, that leads me to, okay,
Yeah.
I could teach you to fight, but to be a champion, you have to be born a fighter. Okay?
I love
so, yeah, I can help you establish your work ethic if you're willing to meet or surpass my effort. I've said it once and I've said it 1,000 times. The people around you are only going to go half as hard as you do. So when you're having to switch from pushing an artist to now delegating and having to shift your efforts, which should be on, taking it to the next level, on making sure that, did you brush your teeth? Are you awake? Do you have a bed call? Why aren't you here? Why haven't you done my drops? You released 6 records. You don't know that I need the lyrics by now? Like, if you don't know all of those things along the process, you'll start to really determine if they're workable or not, if for lack of a better term. But coachable. And an example of a bad artist, a diva. Most of these people, I don't want any artist that have, in their mind, attempted to successfully release a record, because they're not paying me to provide a service. They're paying me to agree with them. Oh yeah, you're doing it the right way.
That's most clients right there.
Yeah,
that's most artists right there.
I could agree with that.
They hire because they want to be told what they're doing is right. And if it were right, they'd be winning.
Right.
And they wouldn't need to hire any of us.
So,
Correct.
And no entitlement, and yes to wanting to learn.
And understanding the process. I had a client where we were going to go out on promo tour. He had a song at radio. We were going to go on promo tour just to the radio stations, and he called me the night before and said, "Yeah, I'm not going." It's like, what do you mean? Like, it's already set up. It's the first time I've ever screamed at an artist.
Yeah.
And then fired him the next day because, like, dude, are you fucking kidding me?
There's that in curse. This business, you never really want to. That's why it's so hard for somebody to reach out on your behalf, because you're either window shopping or you're just not ready at the moment. You got to talk to your big homie when you get the number.
Right.
That's why some people just won't make the phone call for you because your record isn't ready to go to the next level. And if I'm introducing it to certain people or if I'm placing it in certain places,
your reputation.
it has to be able to grow. And if it doesn't,
Yes.
if it doesn't go any further than what I took it, then that's my bad because I know better.
Yes.
So I think a lot of these records that don't flourish, if you will, are because an artist is not talent is. You got to have talent to sell records. Okay, I don't necessarily like everybody that may be talented. That's not my job. I don't
Right.
judge music on how it sounds. I listen to music and judge how I can get it to the world. That's
Right.
my number one goal because I personally may not like Lil Yachty's music, but what the fuck do
But you
I
see the
know?
value.
Because he dropped
Right.
and he streamed and he
And
still
he has fans. I get it.
correct.
Yeah.
I may have not have listened to the Koi what's her name?
Koi Leray.
Koi Leray. Shout out to her. I may have not listened to her project with 17 songs and 11 features. But it's not my cup of tea. Somebody else did. 11,000 people did out the gate. So, there's something for everybody. What I listen to music on and when I work with an artist, I want to know if they're willing to do the work that it takes to get their music to the next level because the music they create today is going to change in 5 years. It's going to change in
Yes.
3 years. It's going to change in 3 records.
Yeah.
The
Yes.
more they see, the more they do, the more they
more
experience,
experience. Yeah.
the more producers they work with in different environments, their
gonna
music is going
grow.
to change.
Correct.
Sure.
You'll know a star when you see one. You'll know a hit when you hear it.
Yeah.
Correct.
But you have to be able to get with those people in the trenches, and that's why I love what I do on the foundation side.
I'd like to add to that because it's really not a hit until the fans say it's a hit.
Amen.
Like, we can feel that it has potential, but until the fans react and drive the streams up, it's not a hit.
Amen.
I always think
just
the
our
fans are a
opinion.
good gauge of, where an artist can go
Yes.
potentially.
Yes.
I mean,
That's why we test everything.
Yeah, the fans ultimately, you can't force a fan to listen to your record.
No. And you can't force them to like you.
No.
Yeah,
There's
because they're
not
gonna
enough
come
money that
find
can
you.
get.
Yes.
And once they find you, they're gonna stick right with you. And
Yes.
they're
If
gonna-
they like you.
Relatability
Yes.
Like
plays
you.
a lot into it. Connections. Here's Koi Leray, right? You want to talk about that one for a second?
Come on.
11,000 Benzino. I wake up this morning and I see that Benzino makes a tweet that says, "Y'all not ready for an album with me and my daughter." At which point I almost fell and slipped and busted my head in the tub.
I don't want an album.
He's got 80 followers on Amazon. Nobody wants an album.
Yeah.
So, when you look at it and then you say, okay, well, maybe it's just and then you go look at her profiles and half of her profiles are invalid. None of them, they're either dormant, not claimed, or not active. And that hurts because when you have as many features on a project as she did, you would have expected it to be released and loaded in a manner where it would show up or reflect and push to all of those audiences.
And that was
And
probably
then
the point.
If
of
she
doing
has
that.
access to those profiles, she could see who's listening, which one of those songs are reacting. So when somebody gets on there and tries to clown her about those 10,000 streams, she's able to combat with the facts instead of getting in their emotions.
Right.
And because artists don't want to do that, they want the sizzle, they want the success before they want to put in the work.
Let me ask you a question. Where do you think there was a lack in to accomplish what she accomplished? For example, I don't think that's a successful release.
I think it was too soon to release.
I think it was way too
17
soon.
I think
songs on an
17
album.
songs with 11
I
are
think
features
maybe
is
an EP
ridiculous.
or just keep releasing singles.
I think the hype was.
I don't understand the album thing.
I didn't agree with the hype either. The song "Blick Blick" with Nicki Minaj was dope. I think she should have rode that a little longer.
Who's
think,
she signed to? Do we know?
Damn.
I don't know, but I was looking on Apple, and they got a whole bunch of the videos on there, and she has a whole bunch of features, and to the naked eye or to the fan, it may be something they want to consume. But when you're talking about to the industry people, and this is where they say the politics and all the extra bullshit comes into play at, you could look at it and see that it's not right. Just at a glance.
look at it, yeah.
You could look at it at a glance and know that it's not right, and understanding. I think she had a song on there with just Nicki and Fabio. Is enough digital exposure
Facts.
that if had it been loaded and serviced the right way, just might have possibly been just got slipped into the algorithm.
Do you guys think it's still savable? For example, since she released this collection of music, is it still savable? Can she come back with another 11 and then another 11 if they
Here's the thing.
strap up and work it
I don't
correctly?
think they need to though.
Yeah,
Let me let you.
I don't
make your
think
point.
I don't think anybody is gonna go through and look for them 27 songs. So if the label is right and they have a concept of it, they're gonna take the singles off of those songs and they're gonna ride those singles into the sunset because they're gonna
That's
have
what I
to
would do.
reintroduce those records.
That's what I would do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would work it as songs, not I would just use the album as
It's there.
content. It's there. It's
there.
something to talk about. Okay, now it's out. It's done. Okay, here's her music. And I would put budgets behind the ones that are doing well.
I agree with
She's
that.
got a great social media following.
Exactly.
So I
Amazing.
think they mistakenly thought that her social media following would drive this, but it never does.
Yeah.
I would like to know who they are. Because whoever they are didn't bother to look at the DSPs and see that she doesn't even have her fucking profiles claimed. So how can
Right.
they put together a successful
Right.
plan? It all starts at the foundation. That's another $1 in the swear jar. That it all starts at the foundation. And if you're not prepared to reap the benefits of a release or of a marketing effort or of an ad campaign, then why would you waste those resources?
Right.
You only get one chance to make a first impression.
Right.
Okay. I get this question all the time, and I want my expert friends.
Why are you so cute?
No, I don't get that question.
Damn.
But Wendy's so crazy. Anyway,
Wendy Doll.
what's the process for artists, Wendy Doll, to start getting paid shows? I know that's a cliche question, but I get it all the time. What's the process for artists to start getting paid shows? When do they start getting paid shows? How do they start getting paid shows? When do they start getting paid to be who they are?
They start getting paid when there's a demand for their music. So when the fans want to see them live and they start bubbling and buzzing, some young promoter is going to see and hear that and start calling to book the artist for a show because they're going to realize they can make money. That's really when an artist starts getting
In a nutshell,
paid.
Touring and market visits and paid performances are a rung on the ladder to success. It doesn't happen at the beginning. When you start performing at showcases and things of that nature, you're paying to practice. If you're not paying to rehearse at a rehearsal studio, then take that 25 and 50 and go down to the local watering hole, shoot them that, get your show set, go up there and figure
Hone
out how
your
to perform
skills.
it. And own your skills, because this has to be a craft.
Yeah.
There's no timeline to say when an artist could start getting paid. Start creating content and build a value for yourself. And
I like
here's
that,
where it
build a
all
value.
comes back to the beginning. If you know where your music is being streamed in, if you know where your content is being engaged with, that's your lead.
Yeah.
You now know. Go to Uncle Google, UncleGoogle.com. Go to Bands in Town and search cities. Search venues. Figure out which venues have 50 to 100 person capacity. You got you 100 listeners in Savannah, find you a venue in Savannah that you could rent out and do you 100 listeners in there. Book yourself. It's a lot. It's dressed in overalls and it requires work. You understand what I'm saying to you? And that's why most of these guys want to know those shortcut answers. Nobody wants to know, what do I need to do to start getting paid? No, it's how do I start getting paid?
Right.
You
Facts.
need to outwork the other
Everybody.
99,000 records that are going to drop today. And when you wake up tomorrow, you need to outwork the other 100,099 records that dropped in 48 hours. And when you wake up on fucking Saturday, it's 200. You understand what I'm saying to you?
Facts.
So that's what you have to do to start getting paid. There's no, if it takes you 1,000 months, 1,000 days to do that, then it's going to take you 1,000 days to get paid.
Okay. Great answer, guys.
Great answer. Man.
Swear jar.
Swear jar. We're going to put a little tally up here. We're going to have to donate that money to something so that I could just
Wait,
cuss freely.
am I in this?
Everybody's in the swear jar because
Oh,
YouTube
damn.
is going to frown at us every time we let go of an F-bomb or something. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Artists tend to have questions about their managers, and then we have managers that watch our podcast and ask questions. And I know a lot of managers. I know we all know a lot of managers. How many different type of managers are there for an artist?
Shit. A personal assistant is not a manager, so we'll start there.
Right.
Okay, we know what a manager is not. A manager is not your investor. A manager is not your personal assistant.
Right.
A manager is not your chauffeur.
Ooh.
A manager is not your physical trainer.
Ooh.
A manager is not your chef.
They're not your booking
They're
agent.
not your booking agent.
They're not your alarm clock.
They're not your alarm
They're not
clock.
your daddy
They're
either.
not your publishing admin.
They're not
They're
your
not your
pimp.
label admins. They're not your pimp. They're none of those things. A manager is someone that can manage what you have going on. So until
I like
you
that
are
you said
in a
that.
position to where you can manage what you have going on, you don't need a manager.
Correct.
Because you're
Manage
going to have to
yourself.
give a manager 20% of nothing. And he's going or she is going to have to put in a ton of work. And the problem with these independent managers, and same thing as established managers, they don't know where to start.
Right.
They think it starts with relationships and, oh, let me go to this city and go visit so and so, or let me go to this city and visit so and so, and let me go spread this little $1,500 around to this circle here. And then once I get 2 or 3 tweets, I'm starting to say I can manage somebody, and that's not what it takes. I know artists right now. I have artists right now, this date, that I personally know that have 40 plus Spotify profiles and have a manager.
We're really lacking in good management in black music, and we have, like, my whole career. It's one of those areas where it's just not as attractive, I think, as owning a label or doing other behind the scenes jobs. And a lot of artists just appoint their boy or their cousin or whoever's in their crew that, is a good mouthpiece to be the manager. And that doesn't help, because a bad manager can really harm your career.
Amen. I think a business manager would be somebody that you would have to have. You want to have a road manager, somebody that if you're starting to do market visits.
What's a business manager?
The short version, right? The accountant, right?
Yeah.
The guy who handles the money,
Right.
That does that. Because at the end of the day, you want to make sure that is handled first.
And you want to make sure you have somebody you can trust too, though.
Exactly.
Correct. A road manager is the guy that's going to manage your road and touring experience. So not the guy that's going to lay out your tour, even though it could be. But the road manager is the person that is making sure the rooms are booked in, that has the transportation, that
collects
is overseeing the back end and the front end money in some cases.
Yeah.
Right.
So all of those different things, a booking I don't want to say a booking manager. We'll call it a booking agent. A touring manager is different than a road manager. The touring manager would be the one who sets up the tours so that the road manager can take the artist on the road.
On the road.
Right. If you're in the realm of making money already, then you may want to have some type of merchandising, or maybe a label admin of some sort, but some type of merchandising manager, if you will, to oversee your website, your webmastering, to upload and schedule the releases of all of your new merchandise to coincide with the releases of your records. You don't drop a T-shirt willy-nilly. You drop a T-shirt because it's a piece of content that you use to push the record.
Correct.
So, what manager do you need to start off with? You need to manage your own shit so that when somebody contacts you to help take you to the next level, you have all of the answers, like, yes, you have identification. Yes, you have access to your email. Yes, you have a phone number. Yes, you have a P.O. box and all the different things that you'll need to protect yourself. So I think that's first.
And then once you get to the point where you do need a manager, you need somebody that does have experience and connections, and that person is like they're driving your ship. Like, they have to have the same vision that you have as an artist of your career, or you're going to be going in separate directions. And then that manager is the one that hires all the other people. They hire the lawyer, they hire the accountant, they hire the content creation team, they hire the social media manager. They're making sure that your goals are being achieved, and they have to be likable enough so that they're not pushing people away at every turn. And most of the managers out here aren't people that are experienced enough to really take your career to the next level.
Or if they are, they fuck somebody in the process. Not a dollar for the square jar.
Right.
They've done some
fuck shit.
Yeah, they've done some real lame shit, and now when they have to reach out to these platforms for you, that memory is still there.
Right.
And it doesn't go away.
Right. I think also one of the things a new artist can do when you're bringing on management, put something in the contract that is achievable but also gives you an out. And what I mean by that is, if you have in your contract that, okay, you're going to be my manager, but I have to make X amount of dollars a year, let's say it's $150,000 a year or $300,000 a year or whatever you feel is attainable, put that in there. That way, if that manager doesn't get you to that level in the first year, you can decide whether to keep them or not. It doesn't mean if they don't achieve it, you fire them, but it gives you an out so that if you hire somebody contractually to be your manager and then they never pick up the phone and call you ever again, you've got an out. You're not stuck in a contract for 3 to 5 years.
Agreed.
Right.
Because
then again, on the flip side of that, that might not be somebody that's a manager to them. That might be somebody that they enlisted for a service and thought that person was managing what they had going on. So maybe a little bit of research more on what it is that you need before investing in titling somebody.
Absolutely. And research everything. And don't just go by what we're saying. Like, we're talking from our experience, but go and research. There's a million people out there giving advice. Like, go do the research for yourself and make sure that what we're saying is accurate. Be be in control of your own career, be in control of your own knowledge.
That's what this is. That's what this is. This is an opportunity to get the information
Yes.
that you need, so that you guys can release your music properly. So
Yeah, I like when artists at least try to make sure they educate themselves, because sometimes they just say, okay, here, I just need you to do that, and then
Do
they
that
turn
for
their
me.
head, and then they just don't even pay
Yes.
attention to what's going on.
Yes.
those are usually the CEO/artists, the conflict of interest. Those are the guys that are torn between wanting to go to a market and knowing that they don't have the money to, but because they're the CEO and the label and the artist and everybody else, they think that paying somebody to do those things for them is going to reap the benefit.
You can't do everything well. I realize when you don't have a budget, you kind of have to do everything yourself, but you can't do everything well. You
Right.
cannot do everything well.
Facts.
It's
And that's when
It's
you get a
impossible.
couple of no's, especially if you come my way, because that sounds unorganized to me.
yeah, it looks janky.
Yeah.
Foundation, infrastructure is everything. If
Yes.
if the foundation isn't strong, then nothing we build on it will stand the test of time. It'll always collapse onto itself. And we're trying to build monuments to greatness here. We're not trying to, what I mean? Just throw up no little rankety ass.
Yeah, we're not trying to play music business. We're trying to actually
we're not
be
dressing up and
professionals.
playing music business.
Right.
Facts.
Right. Oh, some people are.
Cheat code.